Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the I Don't Know What I Did Last Weekend podcast. This is the third installment of the I Don't Know What I Did Last Weekend podcast. Today we're talking about my first trip. Now we're not talking about, your school trip or that class trip or, that family trip in the car where your little brother kicks you in the ass. And then when you punch him back, your grandma yells at you. Nah, we're talking about that magic trip, you know what I'm saying? Now, we're going to talk about the first time I did LSD. First time I did some acid. You know what I'm saying, play? And maybe we'll get into a part 2 where I kind of give the full effect. Talk about maybe some cocaine. That Frosty's a blow man, you know what I'm saying? But, welcome. Okay, so let's get into it. Shit. So the first time I ever did LSD, did some acid, I think I was 10, 11, somewhere in there. I was living in this little ass town, right? Way up in the UP, living in this little ass town called Kinross. Now I don't know if any of y'all have ever been there, but it's a prison. It's what I call a prison town. Like the whole town, nothing but prison. There was like five prisons there, right? So everyone who lived in that town worked at the prison. There was a little airport that had like one flight. It was an international airport because it went to Detroit. Well, where I lived, we lived in these duplexes, right? And me and my mom would rent one. And it was me, my mom's, her current husband, and like, I don't think there was a little brother yet. I don't think he was born yet. No, I can't remember. But I would get out of school, right? And we didn't have anywhere for me to go because my mom was like gone, and he worked. They both worked because they didn't have a lot of money. So I just kind of wander around and kind of hang out, So like I would go and me and my friends would go. And we'd wander around and we'd like sell shit and we'd flip shit. We'd have a little fun, beating the shit out of each other, Just like, there's this one spot we'd go where you'd ride your bike around, you could do these jumps. You used to do that, and we, first time I ever smoked weed was with them. Me and this one kid smoked a little weed, got that reefer. Had that good feeling, know what I'm saying? But it would be like, so like, the first time, so I was in the mindset of, I was real angry, because like, there was a lot of shit going down, like my mom was wild, my stepdad was wild, everything was so crazy. My dad wasn't really in the picture, and it was just, I was so angry at everybody. So I'd get into fights every day at school, get my ass beat their ass, kind of shit. And then one of my homies said, hey, I got this shit. I'm like, hey, you got some weed? No, he goes, no, I got some other shit called acid. I'm like, I'd heard of acid, I had sold some, like, me and my friends had, like, moved some for one guy, so I knew what acid was. I'm like, hey, you got the acid? He's like, ooh, that's dope. He's like, he asked me, like, you want to do it? I'm like, you know what, sure, my mom ain't home, whatever. So we went over to his house, and he lived with his grandma, and grandpa, his mom lived nearby, but she was, kind of an addict, so she didn't care what he did. He lived with them, and they were older, and he'd go down in the basement, did whatever he wanted. We'd smoke weed down there and play fucking Street Fighter, play fucking Call of Duty, GTA, watch cartoons, and smoke weed. Well, he had that, so we went down there, and I didn't know shit. So he had like 10 hits. I took 5. Now, I don't know what y'all know about acid, but it's not exactly what I would call it's not, your size doesn't affect, you could be 574 pounds. You could be Big Bertha. That one hit's going to affect you just like it's going to affect little Albert here, who's weighing 95. Like, it don't matter, your size don't mean shit, because it's fucking with your mind. And your mind, you got that same juices. Call that the steaming juice, you know what I'm saying? That brainstem. That cerebral spinal fluid, It all pours out the same way when you pop it. Yeah. But, so I'm like, you know what? Sure. So I take this shit, and it takes about half an hour for it to kick in. So I took like piss, because I'm like, yo, this shit, why isn't this kicking in? You can feel something for like a minute smoking a joint. A couple minutes, you feel it. But that shit hits right when you do it. You're like, whoa, some good shit. This, I wasn't feeling nothing. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Why ain't I feeling nothing? We're sitting down there. All of a sudden, I'm looking, and there was a lamp, it went up, and it had like the two lights broke off. There was like one on the top and two going out, and like they started moving. I can remember this clearly. It was moving, and I was like freaking out. I was like, why the fuck is that moving? And then like it started to blink. Like one of the lights, the top one was like turned into like a head, and the two ones were like mouths, right? Not like extra mouths, like those like monsters in Mario, And so I'm freaked out, like, what the fuck is that, man? And he's like, he was a couple years older than me, and he had done it a lot more, so he's like, hey, calm down. I'm like, no, that motherfucker, and it kept like it started talking. And so I'm freaking out. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that, man? What the fuck? I'm freaking out. And all of a sudden I look down, and like the floor is water. And I'm freaking out because I'm not in like the basement anymore. I'm stranded. Like one of my biggest fears is being like on a raft in the ocean. I can't see. There's miles of water beneath me, and I can't see nothing. There's sharks, barracudas, shit like that. That freaks me the fuck out. Like, I don't like going way out in the ocean on big boats. I'm okay with it and all, because I don't think about it. But if I start thinking about it, it freaks me out. Because there's like a lot of stuff beneath me I can't see. Big shit that could kill me. And I'm kind of a bitch about stuff that I can't, defend myself against. The fuck am I going to do against a great white shark? Punch it? That's going to fucking work. So, I'm freaking out. He gets me, he starts fucking with me. Because he's tripping too, but he knows what's up. I don't, because I was new to this shit. And he yells, look, a fucking shark. I didn't see it. But I look, and there ain't nothing, I see it. I see a shark. I ain't never seen a shark in real life. Okay, the most I've seen is like Shark Week and picture books at this point. I ain't been to no ocean. Like, I ain't been out in the ocean seeing sharks, barracudas. I've seen Jaws, but that was it. Seen fucking Sharknado or some shit. I'm freaking out. I pissed my pants. I legit pissed my pants. I was so fucking scared. So I'm sitting there, and luckily, like, he figured out, oh, fuck, like, and he got me, like, calmed down. He put a blanket on me, and told me it was safe, and I was okay. But that was a scary-ass experience. And you understand the mindset of, after that, I did it the next day. Like, I'm like, hey, man, want to do it again? I want to see shit's faces melt off. Like, after the first time, I was like, I understood. I'm like, it ain't real. So it was just like, shit, I could watch Nickelodeon, watch some iCarly, or I can watch the motherfucking lamp melt, man. So I chose to watch the lamp melt. Shit, how long do I have left? I got 5 minutes left before I have to close up part 1. Okay, and so, shit. First time I did coke, I think I was a little older when first time I did coke. I was like 12, 13. I was selling it, so like, I was like, my friend's like, hey, take this. First time I ever sold, like, coke. My friend had told me, because I would sell coke to these people, and I'd give them and I'd cop Fat Alberts. The Fat Albert is like a 1/4 gram of coke. It's then either wrapped in a plastic bag, like a part of a plastic bag, or in like aluminum foil. And it goes for $25. So the first time I ever did it, I went and I copped, these 5 Fat Alberts. I was going to buy one. He's like, hey, I'll give you 5 of them. Bring me back 25. bring me back 100, you'll keep 25. So I'm like, okay, I sold off the 5 Fat Alberts, and I made $25. And I was excited about that. So I did it again. And again, I started doing a little bit more. And he got me moving it, but I had never used it. I had done, like, snorted stuff before, but it wasn't like snorting that. Like, one time, me and my friends, we wanted to prove we were badasses. So we were watching, I think we watched Scarface. I'm like, hey, yo, we should snort sugar. Like, what, you get with the sugar high, see what happens. So I go and I get the bag of sugar. Their mom, and I took a thing, and that spoon, I laid it out. Took a thing, I legit took like a business card I found from a magazine and laid it out. Took a straw, and I did that whole line. I fell back, my nose was running. I started coughing and sneezing. And those motherfuckers I was with, not a single, I was getting pissed. I'm like, yo, motherfuckers, I did that shit. What the fuck are you not doing it? And they weren't doing it. And that's why I never go first now. But, so the first time I did coke, I was at my friend, I'm going to call him Corey's house. We were chilling, smoking a little weed, watching we were watching some shit. I think it was like a documentary on like punk rock. And he was in a band. He was in this rock band, right? He was really into that like kind of that minimalist Green Day type shit. That emo punk. And we were all into skateboard, and I had like, I was always trying to be a badass, right? Wanted to prove I was a thug. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, he's like, hey yo, I'm a cop. Because I got some shit, and we're talking, we're smoking weed. He's like, hey yo, you want to do some coke? He says it to me, and I look at him like, okay, like, why not? He's like, you ever done it before? And I lied. I'm like, yeah, I've done coke before. Lots of times, man. So, he's like, okay, like, how much do you, he lays out a line, goes, he pours some out of he has a little baggie, puts some out, and he lays out a line. He's like, do you want it bigger? Because it was probably 2 inches. It wasn't that, it was about maybe a centimeter across and about 2 inches long. I'm like, lay it out bigger. So he lays out a big fucking line. Not like the biggest line I've ever seen, probably 6 inches, half an inch across. And I snort the entire line up. Now, I don't know if any of y'all have ever done coke before, but the first time you do coke, you hit that, head goes down, you get a rush, you head bop it, whoa, like that, like pop. My heart started bum 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 bum. My heart just started, because that was a lot of coke. That's something I would like at this point. I don't do coke anymore, but if I did it now, how much I would do. I could just get ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. And you get paranoid as fuck. So my heart's going ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. And I start looking around. I'm like sitting there about 20 minutes in. I hear something. Like a knock on the door. And I think it's the police. I think it's like, oh shit, it's like a bad people, man. And so I'm hiding. The first time, every time you do shit for the first time, it hits you wrong. At least in my experience. Every time I do it for the first time, except for like weed, it hit me wrong as shit. I'm sitting there and I'm hiding under like there's a little table that has granite puzzles on. I'm hiding under this table freaking out that they're going to find me. There was no one at that door. It was in my mind. My mind was that paranoid. Okay, this is part 1. I'm going to do a part 2 hopefully later today of first time drug stories. Thank y'all and welcome back and have a good day. This was the I Don't Know What I Did Last Weekend podcast. Come again.